Welcome to another episode of the Igloo Cinema, and this week we're going to be reviewing Jurassic World. So Jurassic World stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and this is the fourth installment in the whole Jurassic Park series, which, you could say it's the fourth movie, but it also kind of works as a remake, because it has a whole new set of characters, and it's set way after the first movie. They kind of ignore the second two sequels, or the other two sequels, but I don't really blame them, because they're pretty bad. But yeah, it's set way after, and it's a Jurassic World now, kind of alluding to the whole Disneyland, Disney World thing, where it's much more expanded theme park with way more different dinosaurs and way different rides, and the technology has increased where you can sit in like these sphere things and you can ride around the field to interact with the dinosaurs. So it's like it's the fourth movie, but it also works as a sequel as well. But anyways, let's get on to the review. I want to preface first by saying the only Jurassic Park movie besides this one that I watched is Jurassic Park, the first one, and I don't remember much from it, but I do remember really liking it. So going to that one, I was sort of excited, but not being a completely big fan of Jurassic Park, I wasn't too hyped, so my expectations were somewhere in the middle, and I have to say I actually kind of like it. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's really enjoyable. So, like all my reviews, I want to first start talking about what I liked and what I didn't like, and then give my rating after that. So, what I did like is, I like how much of I like this theme park theme they're going with, where the dinosaurs are seen less as a, oh my god, dinosaurs, and more like a ride, like a attraction, or as Bryce Dallas Howard's character calls it, an asset. Where, they need new, like rides in a theme park, they need new dinosaurs to keep people coming back, which is what causes the Indominus Rex to be created in the movie, which is the main plot of the movie, when it escapes and they have to find it. And in this movie, they're being pushed to the wall because people are so desensitized by dinosaurs now. They went to the park once, I've seen all the dinosaurs, I don't think I want to come again, so they're pushed against the wall and they have no choice but to try new things to create better attractions for theme park. So they do some sciencey things that are, as the movie kind of plays around with, as unethical or very dangerous, the playing with God kind of thing. But they do it and they create the Indominus Rex. And I really like this idea because it really plays to the, sort of like in Hunger Games, where it plays the reality TV kind of aspect of, training kids to fight against each other and people watching it and they're desensitized to it. Sort of like that, but in a theme park kind of theme, where kids go in and there's like all these cool dinosaur holograms. You can dig up fossils and you can ride through the field, see all these dinosaurs. There's all these different rides, like similar to SeaWorld, where you see the sea dinosaur and it like eats the shark and then it goes down underneath and you can see through a glass it's swimming around. It's like a zoo but with dinosaurs, and I really like how much they play around with this idea. So that was really interesting, and just the way they talk about it, like they have these passes and the families come on vacation to look at these dinosaurs. So I really like that aspect. I also like the acting. I think Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard do an amazing job. The kid actors also, it's really hard to find kid actors these days that are really good. Another great example, in Daredevil, the kid who plays Matthew Murdock, great actor. And the kids in this one are great actors too. And I really like the contrast between the two kids, because they really play their roles well. Because the older kid is this teenager who's into girls, and he's not, he doesn't really care about this dinosaur park, which a lot of teenagers tend to do. They pretend they don't really care about this awesome thing that's really going on, and they're busy like texting on their phone or something, and the little brother's like all excited, running around like, oh my god, how can you not see this? These dinosaurs are amazing. So I like the contrast. The teenager can be a little bit annoying sometimes, but you really grow to like him, and that has a lot to do with the acting. So I think on the acting front, it's really good, and on the most part, the visuals are really amazing. people complain that the Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, the CGI isn't really that great, and the first one, the CGI still holds up, and I really feel like they stepped up their game with the dinosaurs. On the most part, they look really good. The park looks really amazing. I like seeing all the rides and all the new technologies that they implement into the theme park. Everything, it really immerses you into this Jurassic World where you actually, believe that this theme park could exist, and that again plays to the theme they're playing with, with the dinosaurs being a commodity, and this theme park where people come and watch dinosaurs. It's really believable, so I really like that aspect as well, and just the fun and the whimsical feeling from the first movie is here. You would think that after all these sequels, it would have ran out. And, for the most part, Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 might have been like that. But this movie, I really feel like they do kind of recapture the whimsical themes and feelings from the first movie. I mean, not completely, because I still believe that the first movie, even though I haven't seen it for a long time, is the better movie. But this movie does a really good job trying to recapture that. So, and the music plays a good part in that too. And they do play the same themes from the first movie, and I really like that. I really respect that. So, on that front, I really like it. And I just like the characters as well. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's characters have really good chemistry together, and they're just really strong characters. One is... What I like that, Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Karen, isn't a complete, stereotypical scientist, She isn't that stereotypical scientist who's, desensitized to the dinosaurs and don't think that they're animals. That, they're just machines, they're just numbers on the paper, and I don't really care about them, blah, 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 they can die, whatever. And they really, in the beginning, they play her character like that, but... It's not to a point where it's too stereotypical, because eventually she does, when she goes with Owen to find go find the dinosaur that's on the loose, through their interactions and through interacting with the dinosaurs, she really gains a new respect for them and a new understanding of them. And I like how they show both sides of that. And she isn't a complete stick in the mud. She's still fun, she's still kind of funny, and you really understand where she's coming from, because she has to run a park. In order to run a park, you have to look at the numbers. You have to look at, which dinosaurs are attracting the most people, and someone has to do the job, and she does it really well. And that character isn't a complete stick in the mud and isn't a complete stereotypical scientist character. And Owen, Chris Pratt's character, he isn't a complete manly man. I mean, yeah, at some points it can be a little bit too much, and his stare's a little bit kind of, like that super manly man who's into the wild and he's dirty and shit. He is kind of stereotypical, but I feel like Chris Pratt's charisma really helps with this character, and it really works because of that. So, overall, I think the characters are fine as well, the acting is fine, the CGI is fine, and that's that. So, what I didn't like, however, was I kind of missed the animatronics. It is a little bit too CGI at some points. And when I talked about what I did like, I said on the most part it was pretty convincing, but there are some moments where it just looks a little fake, and you can kind of tell. And I really feel like the movie could have done better if they tried putting real life things in it. Great example of this is Mad Max, where they do use CGI, but they use it at a minimum. When things are real, you can tell, that they're real. And in Jurassic Park, there are some moments where it's I don't really see it. So that's one gripe. Another gripe is I feel like that they're being too sciencey in this movie. I understand that you have to explain the dinosaurs, how they're created, but it sort of takes away from the whimsical feeling. And when I said what I did like is, it does kind of recapture it, and I really emphasize on the fact that I'm saying it kind of, because especially in the first act of the movie, they have a lot of sciencey talk and how these dinosaurs are created and blah blah blah. And I understand that, and I get that you have to include that, but I feel like they put in a little bit too much, and it sort of takes away from the magic of the dinosaurs. So I do feel like that was a bit of a problem, as well as there's this idea that they're playing with, as well as, you know, using the dinosaurs as a military weapon, and there's a character specifically there to convince, you know, Chris Pratt's character that, oh, these dinosaurs can be used in the army. I feel like that was a little bit too much. You know, he keeps talking about the same thing over and over again, and he's just such a boring, stereotypical character. You know, he does want to protect the people, but you can tell his motives are more in the, I want to use these dinosaurs as weapons. And, you know, it's fine. I like that they're playing with this idea, and I don't think I've seen that in the previous Jurassic Park movies, but they hammer it in like crazy, and it's like they say the same thing over and over again. So that was a little worn, and I feel like it wasn't really necessary, so that was another thing. And I just feel like the new dinosaur was a little bit uncreative. I mean, like, he's badass, he can camouflage, and like he can hide his heat signature, but I don't know, it just wasn't that exciting. You know, he was terrifying, but like, it just wasn't as creative as you would think. You know, you would think a man-made, genetically spliced dinosaur would look like. You know, you would think he'll look more, you know, just a little different. You know, I just wasn't down with the Dominus Rex. And I just felt like the story itself was a little bit too similar to the first movie. I feel like, you know, giving a chance to make a completely new story with completely new characters and completely new actors, you would think they would come up with a better story similar to the Dominus Rex, a better dinosaur. So I do feel like it sort of is a retread of the first movie, but done kind of well. Having to do with the writing and the characters and the acting, I think it still holds its own, but it does. It is hindered by the fact that the story is kind of a retread of the first movie, but just creative enough that it doesn't completely make the movie terrible. But that is one of the downfalls of the movie. But the problem is, I just don't know how else you could make a story about a Jurassic Park anything other than a dinosaur escaping. Like, I just don't know where else you could take the story. But I felt like I would have liked the movie better if they completely surprised me. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying I know a better story, but I just feel like there could have been a better story, and they didn't go with that, and they went with the route of retreading the first movie. So, on that note, the movie wasn't that great because of that. So overall, after giving you what I liked and what I didn't like, it's time to give the score, and my final score for Jurassic World is a 7 out of 10. It's not the best movie in the world, it's not amazing, but it's also not terrible. It didn't ruin any of your childhood, so I think that's a good note. The movie is strong for its acting, its characters, its whimsical theme kind of thing that it does sort of recapture from the first movie. So I like that aspect. I like the whole theme park theme that they're going with. They really go all the way with it, and I really love it for it. The park itself is really immersive, and it's really convincing. So on that aspect, I really like it. I just felt like the movie sort of is like a retread of the first movie. The CGI was a little bit too much. The sciencey talk was a little bit too much, and the military talk was a little bit too much. But overall, it's still a very enjoyable movie. If you like the first one, I think you'll find something out of this one that you enjoy, even if you won't like the movie completely. But I don't think any Jurassic Park fans will be completely disappointed. So, on that note, that is my review of Jurassic World. If you guys watched the movie, please give your comment down below. Tell me what you think. Do you like it, dislike it, why or why not? And tell me what to review next. What other movies have coming up that you want me to review? Write in the comments down below. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked the video, please like it. If you like it even more, please favorite it. Like it even more, please share it. Subscribe for the channel for updated content. Also subscribe to our personal channels, other stuff there too. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next Igloo Cinema, Black Couch, or Movie Log. Peace.